Okay, so recently I had the chance to take a road trip to pick up a bunch of retro PC stuff, including these 5 PCs, 3 of which I was quite interested in. I had no idea the hardware inside, so I'm taking a chance and we're about to find out together what's inside this first victim. The lady that owned these was a gamer back in the late 90s, and these are her PCs she used for playing Diablo, among other games. I'm hoping that we find some nice parts inside of these. At first glance, we can see it is an AMD Slot A system, which is pretty cool. And it appears to be quite dusty, but I actually expected far worse for a 20-year-old PC. Let's start by checking a couple of pieces of hardware to see what we were working with. It looks to be a GeForce card. And it is. It's a Riva TNT2 32 megabyte, but unfortunately, as you can see here, it's the M64 variant, which I believe was the budget model. Still a nice find for sure. Okay, so up next we have the CPU, and sometimes these retention clips can be a pain. This one didn't give me too much trouble though. I see it has a nice Thermaltake cooler on it. Hopefully this is a decent overclocking board and a decent overclocking CPU. Quite a bit of dust built up inside the cooler here. Let's see what we have here. Hey, check it out. Focus, damn it. It's a 750 megahertz Thunderbird. Nice. Now that some of the parts have been identified, time to see if it actually runs. That beep is good. And boom, it posts. You guys remember these PS2 optical mice? Or laser, whichever they were? Man, they were the shit back then. You didn't have to take your mouse apart and clean the ball anymore. Windows XP. I was expecting 98 on here, but that's fine. I'm just glad everything works. It's so slow. I'm so spoiled by an SSD. This is just dreadful. Okay, I'm speeding this up now since it seems to be extremely slow to do anything. I had to fix the mouse speed first and then check it out a bit, but it got to be too frustrating. I see a lot of crap installed, slowing it down. So we know that it works, we'll just reload it fresh. So let's go get this cleaned up before we go any further. Alright, so I definitely want to replace the thermal paste on the CPU and GPU. I should probably pop the cover off the CPU and repaste the die, or as they say now, delit it, but I will save that for another time. These heat sinks can be a little tricky to get off, mainly because the old paste turns to cement and it glues the heat sink on, but these clips, they can get hung up too. I'm not going to do too much about the cable management here. They are tied up pretty good, and I'll just leave them like that for now. Okay, so now that we have it all back together, I'm trying to install Windows 98, but it seems neither optical drive wants to work. Fortunately, there are a few others in the lot, and I have a few myself, so we should be able to find something that works. Okay, believe it or not, it is now the following morning. I had to call it quits last night. It got late fast, but you can see we have it all wrapped up on the inside, and we also have Windows 98 Second Edition installed. I did install the drivers, and I just grabbed the first GeForce driver I found for this TNT2, so it's probably not ideal, but it will allow us to run a couple of benchmarks to test everything out. I will get all the drivers sorted out later, and I'll probably make another video on the performance of the system. So to wrap this up, we're just going to quickly run 3D Mark 99 Max and 3D Mark 2000, and then we will pick it up later in another video.